Welcome, everyone. And it's my honor to be with you. Today, we're talking about positioning for power and profit using the market positioning analyzer. It is super fun and exciting to be with you. I welcome you in as we explore one of the important core growth elements, the idea of having a clear position statement that you can use to grow your company. Do you feel like your company is doing great work, but being overlooked or misunderstood by customers? Are you blending in with competitors when you know your offer is actually stronger, smarter, or even more meaningful? Is your team unclear or inconsistent when they describe your company and what you do and why you do it? Would you love to finally, as a brand and as a company, claim the powerful, distinctive position in your market that builds loyalty, attracts ideal customers, and increases your company value? This is why we're here today. Market positioning is the image or identity of a brand in the target consumer's mind relative to your competitors. Positioning is here to differentiate your company, your offerings from competitors in a way that builds preference for your brand among coveted target prospects and customers. The ultimate goal of market positioning is to occupy a distinct and valued place in a target customer's mind. The whole idea is for your company to be seen as distinct, desirable, and different. Today, we are building on the idea of having a flywheel for your company, a growth flywheel. So every concept we talk about in each masterclass is on one of the core growth elements. Today is the positioning statement, one of the legs of the flywheel. And we're going to use the market positioning analyzer, which you can download from a forceforgood.biz/weekly-tools. Why define market positioning? It creates clarity for everyone in your company. When you have a market position, it creates deep clarity about where you stand, what you're building. Second thing is it sharpens your competitive edge. Positioning helps you differentiate, not just describe your offering. In a crowded market, being good isn't enough. You need to be different in a way that matters to your ideal customer. Positioning defines what makes you uniquely valuable and hard to replace. The third reason you need market positioning is it strengthens customer preference and loyalty towards your brand. When customers see themselves reflected in your brand and understand why your solution is built for them, they're far more likely to buy, stay, and rehearse. A marketing positioning statement aligns your team around growth. When positioning is clear, every department, whether it's product, sales, marketing, or operations, or even finance, can make faster, smarter decisions that supports the same strategic intent. It removes the friction and replaces it with shared conviction. It boosts the effectiveness of your marketing and sales. Without strong positioning, every great campaign falls flat. You can do all kinds of emails, socials, events, but if your positioning is off, it's not going to be high converting. The sixth reason for market positioning is it increases your company's perceived value. Strong positioning builds brand equity. It's one of the key reasons customers will pay more, investors will lean in, and talent will want to join you. It transforms your offering from a commodity into a category of one. Finally, the seventh reason why market positioning is important is it makes future decisions faster and easier. Should we change this feature? Should we target this segment? Positioning provides a filter for decision making. It keeps your company focused on what matters and protects you from shiny object syndrome. Let's move on to the next topic, which is where does this fit on the 4-page growth plan? The 4-page growth plan is a business plan. It's a plan that covers everything over the next 10 years, which is kind of extraordinary. And don't worry if you didn't feel like 10 years is too much. The focus is really on helping you decide every day what to do. It's for you, the founder, or you, the marketing leader, but for everybody on your team too. In the first page of the 4-page growth plan, the top section is on Know Your Purpose. The bottom section of page 1 and the second page are dedicated to knowing who you serve. And the position statement, you can see it right there on page 2, 3/4 of the way down. That is what we are focusing on today by uncovering your market position in 4 ways. Positioning through contrast, brand identity, making a promise to your customer, and building a statement. We're focused on becoming distinct, desirable, and different. Position through contrast can relate to a lot of factors. Position through contrast. What level of quality? What price? Think about your market. Where do you fit? What are the brands known for being super high quality? And what are the ones that are known for being less quality, more of the value option? Which are priced high and which are priced low? Your company might be focused on selling directly to customers or only business to business. So there's also that contrast. So that's a contrast. Also, who you sell to in terms of the size of the companies you serve might be solo entrepreneurs, micro businesses, mid-sized companies, or enterprise-sized companies, right? It might be residential versus commercial. Consider how your brand contrasts with other options in your market. By finding where the contrast lives, you own the place that is meant to be for your business. So we're going to create a positioning matrix for your company, and you're going to plot competitors along with you. And one of the ways to plot is where you have price along the x-axis, the lower axis, and quality along the upper axis, the y-axis. And we are able to compare in quadrant 1, lower quality, low price, to those in quadrant 3, higher quality, higher price. And so the positioning matrix, we're going to walk through the analyzer today, and you're going to build this. It's a visual snapshot of how your company stacks up against others. There isn't necessarily a better position to be in. It's just knowing which position to own. The only place I would say you don't want to be is in quadrant 4, low quality, high price. It's a very difficult place to be, right? So you don't want to live there. You want to live in quadrants 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to go through and describe what each one of those quadrants represents. Think about companies in your market and think about which ones are on the lower price and they're going for lower quality. Right? So you might find something down there. So captures price sensitive customers looking for most affordable, isn't as particular about quality, enables high volume sales due to low price points, and reduces production costs, focusing on basic functionality. The second quadrant is low quality, high price. This captures price sensitive customers looking for affordable options. It enables high volume sales and reduces production costs and focusing on basic functionality. Quadrant 3 is high quality, high price. It enhances brand prestige and exclusivity. It attracts affluent customers who want to pay more and achieves higher profit margins per sale. Think about where you fit. Okay. Look at the position matrix. You can choose, do I want to be the high-end leader? That's top right-hand corner. That's the high quality, high price. So some examples are Apple, Rolex, Tesla, right? Do you want to be the best value And that's where you get the IKEAs, the Hondas, the Uniqlos. Or if you want to be a niche specialist, this is where you have high quality, low price. This is companies like Trader Joe's, Warby Parker, and Everlane. Then you have budget options, lower quality with service, lower price. Dollar Tree, Spirit Airlines, ZTE phones. These are all ways to think about the position in the market. So start to plot out in your mind or on a paper where your company sits and the other players serving the same customer. Okay, so now we're going to move on from positioning through contrast, talking about positioning through brand identity. These are some of the concepts that you would think of if you were talking to your marketing or PR professional. It's the visual and emotional impression that your brand makes on consumers. By intentionally choosing a brand identity that resonates, you build connection, trust, and understanding with your target market. So the way you do this is by what colors you're choosing, what fonts you choose, the typography you choose, which images you use, and which symbols. My own brand, Force for Good. It's intentional for women, but not to scare away men. The font is powerful and strong, not feminine. The primary color is a purple, feminine, but also masculine, business-oriented, and trust-based. We use a lot of blues because too much pink is not going to resonate with our total market. So then we also speak through core messages, tone, and words. The words and choices you use, the elevated language, or if you intend to be funny or crispy or snarky, all of that conveys the type of brand that you are and who your target market is. Your market position is not just what you say, it's what you embody in all of your content, all of your collateral, all of your messages. So the next piece here is the way we make a promise. So part of our market positioning is that we make a specific promise to our market. A company promise is your clearest, most compelling commitment to your customer. We have a core purpose, which is the fundamental reason why your company exists, the purpose. This is different. This is a promise. You consistently deliver your problem you solve, the distinctive advantage you bring into a single promise that your audience believes, trusts, and can remember. It's not a tagline or a mission statement. It's a strategic declaration that answers the simple question, why should your ideal customer choose you? What is it that you're promising them that they know they're going to get? What is it your customers know they're going to get from you? Now we build it all together in a position statement. A position statement is a declaration that summarizes a unique brand's value and promise to the market. Use this Mad Lib as a starting point. Name your target audience, your company input, the single most important promise, your company promise, because evidence that supports the promise. So your market position is a sacred agreement between your truth and your audience. Insert that promise and that agreement into your market position statement. And every time you speak it, every time a member of your team speaks it, it becomes your word. It becomes your truth. So let's talk about some examples. So Laura Health, founded by Martina Janikova, is a digital health platform. Their market position statement is for medical practices seeking to improve patient outcomes and profitability. Laura Health is the all-in-one remote patient monitoring and telehealth platform. It automates care delivery, maximizes reimbursements, and enables scalable, high-quality care without additional staff or visits. That's one example. Let's move on to another example. Let's look at, these are all, and by the way, these are all SaaS companies, and they're all feeding different markets, and they sound completely different because their target audience is different, their promise is different, and the evidence that they use to support the promise is different. The second example is a company called ActiveTrack, the workforce analysis company for enterprise leaders and operations managers. ActiveTrack is here's the promise, essential workforce optimization platform. And here's the evidence, because it unifies productivity, compliance, and workforce planning analytics, delivering measurable ROI and enabling data-driven decisions that maximize workforce investments. These are two examples. We're going to go on to the next slide where we work on your position. Pull out the market positioning analyzer. You can get it at a forceforgood.biz/weekly-tool. It's free until June 8th. Till then, you have access. We're going to walk through the steps. We're going to build your position matrix, explore your brand identity, fonts, emotions, articulate what makes you different, declare your company promise, and craft your position statement. Let's go straight into part one, craft your position matrix. To get focused on what matters, begin by giving your energy towards writing down your core purpose, your 100-year vision, your 10-year impact goal, and your core values. So bring those to mind. Having that strategic information top of mind is essential. There are master classes and tools for core growth elements, core purpose, 100-year vision, impact goal, and core values, or you can write down whatever feels right to you. Next, identify your market. This is the who, what statement. There is a tool for that. Then identify your 3 core competitors. There's also a tool for that. This is giving you a little bit of the soil in which to plant the seed of your position matrix and your marketing position statement. Next, choose your matrix dimensions. So here's where you have your matrix, and on the X, you have price, and on the Y, you have perceived quality. But you might decide that you want to change that. You might have customer size, like solo entrepreneurs, small, medium-sized business, and enterprise could be, the X-axis. It could be innovation versus reliability, customer experience versus operational strategy. Think about what elements are most prized by your customer. How does your customer think about you and your market? And what are the qualities that they use to assess whether they want to work with you? Some companies are super cutting edge, innovative, and others are more traditional, legacy. You could put that on the X-axis. And then reliability could be your Y-axis. So consistent, proven results to unpredictable or untested. That could be one way to find your position. Customer experience versus operational efficiency. On one level, you have a high touch, personalized customer experience on the one side of the X-axis, and the other is more self-service, transactional, do it yourself. Some customers are happy with self-service, others want bespoke. Another axis compared to customer experience is operational efficiency. Streamlined, tech-enabled versus manual and resource-heavy. So it's good for SaaS companies, healthcare companies, service-based companies. You might look at specialization versus breadth. Some companies are niche-focused. You might have competitors, or you might be someone who only works with a particular market or only works with a particular small part of a bigger need for solutions. You could be not in the CRM space, but in the email marketing space, right? Identify the specialization versus industry focus and where you fit. Characterize your market. Create a plot of two extremes, the X and Y, and write down your top 3, 4, 5 customers and yourself. Where do you fit in that picture? Start to see what that picture looks like as you plot out your competition, you plot out yourself. You've plotted your competitors and now explore your brand identity. What is your brand personality? Bold and edgy? Think Nike. Warm and empowering? Think dumb. Sophisticated and high end? Think Chanel. Playful and curious? Think MailChimp. So pick 3 adjectives that describe your brand's personality. Number 2, how do you want customers to feel? This is about emotional resonance. What's the emotional outcome of working with us? What's the emotional outcome your customers will feel? Do you want your customers to feel confident, inspired, relieved, supported, seen, understood, and empowered? Think about what you would like them to feel. And then what makes your brand different from competitors? Focus on approach, philosophy, depth of service, tone, culture, outcomes. So think about where you fit. Brand identity is the soul of your positioning. Get this clear and everything else will align. Your messaging, visuals, pricing, and sales. Great. Now we ask about elements of your visual brand. How do you communicate your brand visually? What are your brand colors? Write down what that is. And then I encourage you to go and see the psychographic of those colors. What does that communicate? What are the fonts you're using? And look to see, is it a serif font? Is it a sans serif font? Is it a calligraphy, human writing? All of these communicate different things to the market. So a serif font often signals heritage and sophistication. A serif font has little hooks on the end of the letters, whereas the sans serif just has very modern letters. A sans serif font leans modern and minimalist. A script font might signal creativity or approachability. Also, what are the images that you use? People, landscapes, symbols. Is it mechanical? Do you use things that are hand-drawn? Within the Force for Good brand, the choice of using a flywheel and making the logo part of the flywheel is very intentional. We like all our images on our socials are emotional, meant to be emotional. So I always talk to my social media team about not just what is the words on the page that we're saying, but what's the emotion behind it. So don't create an image that looks like the mechanics. Create an image that looks like the feeling. And so for another company, they would want it to look very mechanical because that would be their brand positioning. So think about what your images are, what symbols are for you, and how you would describe your brand. So describe your brand in 3 words. What would be your brand? 3 words. These are traits, how your brand shows up. Example might be empowering, clear, visionary. Think of distinctive adjectives. Also think of 3 words that describe the tone of your brand. This is the voice or flavor of your communication. So this would be like when you're talking to your marketing person and saying, this is the tone, this is the energy that I want to communicate. This is the voice we want to convey when you're writing. For example, it could be warm, wise, energizing, bold, professional, technical, analytical, friendly, honest, encouraging, funny, smart. What is your energy? What is that tone? 3 core messages, recurring truths that you want your audience to believe. And so for, in here at A Force for Good, we certainly talk about women-led business deserve to scale with profit and purpose. Your difference is your greatest advantage, and you don't have to do this alone. What are those messages for your company? Think about all aspects of your brand so that you can delve into your position. Now we're going to think about your differentiation. So this first question is, what unique features do your products and services offer? What are those distinct features, the differentiators? This is the tangible differences in what you deliver. Think functionality, structure, accessibility, customization, pricing model, integrations, speed, or results. Examples might be, our onboarding process gets clients fully launched in 48 hours. Others take weeks. We use a tiered subscription that scales automatically with client usage. Most competitors have static plans. Our platform includes AI-driven insights tailored to women-led teams, something no one else is offering. So hear how that sounds. Go beyond, we care more, or work harder. Be specific. These are your unique features of your products and services. Next, think about differentiation. How does your customer experience stand out? Customer experience is a huge differentiator, especially in service, tech, and healthcare. Consider each touch point along the customer journey: onboarding, support, follow-up, user education, delivery speed, packaging, relationship building. Think about all those moments with your customer, how those interactions occur. Is it with technology? Is it with a person? Does the person come to you? Is the person in the office? What does that look like? So some examples about how your customer experience might stand out is, we assign every client a dedicated strategist, not a rotating account manager. Our clients never have to chase us. We guarantee a 24-hour response time. We host monthly CEO roundtables for our clients to connect and grow with each other. So these are some ways you can separate yourself from your competition. The next question is, what market needs are you addressing that others are not? This is where you name the gaps your competitors ignore and why these places matter. Think about what frustrations, unmet needs, or underserved audiences do you serve best? In my home health business, we had a unique part of our operations. We did not just a patient care plan, but we also did a care plan that talked about the personal needs of the home, the family, and the patient. And we would go before we ever start to nurse out, we would send somebody out specifically to look at what the curated care plan would be. And so this included all kinds of preferences about the home and what needed to happen. And this is because having people come and go out of your house can be very uncomfortable if it's happening all the time. Other agencies were not doing this at all. So this was this curated care plan that we constantly were updating and making sure that we were really meeting the desires of the whole were being met. So here are some other examples. We support post-exit founders launching their second venture. Most platforms focus on first-time founders. We make sustainability practice for small business, not just large enterprises with big budgets. We provide fractional service for growth stage companies that can't afford full-time hires. These are ways to differentiate yourself. How does your company's expertise and knowledge position you differently? Focus on the depth of your insight. Here we go. Sorry about this. Went a few pages forward here. Okay, here we are. Right place now. All right. So, how does your company's expertise and knowledge position you differently? You're looking at your story, your earned wisdom, your lived experience. And this can be you, the founder, can be a view of your team, be it people in the business that have created your technology, the scientists or engineers who are part of it. What made this special or unique? Or is it particular about how you gathered all of the content? Was it built and acquired through multiple people? Think about what perspective does your company bring that others cannot replicate? What do you know that shifts the outcome for your customers? So, examples. Our team includes healthcare operators, not just consultants, which means we've lived the problems our clients are solving. We've scaled 3 8-figure companies ourselves, so we teach from direct experience, not theory. As a founder of Color, I understand the cultural context and systemic challenges. These are ways you can place your knowledge and experience as part of what separates you from the competition. So write down a few bullets on this question number 4, to help you understand how your knowledge helps you stand out. Capture which differentiators make your dream client say, finally, someone who gets it. So look and see, where is it most important for you to be unique and different? Where are you solving their big problem or showing up in a particular way that will make all the difference? And this is your key differentiator. All right, so going on to the next piece here. Part 4 of the Market Positioning Analyzer, a company promise. All right, so company promise is your clearest, most compelling commitment to your customer. Think about that. It's the value you consistently deliver, the urgent problem you solve, and the distinctive advantage you bring, distilled into a promise to your audience. Started with the primary urgent problem your company solves. We talked a little bit about that on the who, what analyzer. That's another worksheet, another tool we use. If you didn't do that exercise, no worries. Just write down what's this primary, urgent, and important problem that is so important, most important to your customers. And then what do your customers value the most? Think about their values. So this isn't just what you give, it's what they care most about and how you deliver it. So this was a big part of the illuminate package. It was, everybody was providing nursing care, but how we did it in this remarkable care way, where we had a curated care plan and we found out how people wanted everything done in their homes, how they wanted to be spoken to when. So the examples could be they want speed without sacrificing quality. They care about being seen, understood, and empowered, not just served. They value personalized guidance over one size fits all advice. They want ease, trust, and expert support without handholding. So, what makes them choose you over the other companies? Next, the question becomes, what is the unique strength of your company? This is what you do better than anyone else. It could be your approach, your team, your depth of knowledge, your tech, your lived experience. Could be we combine deep industry expertise with an emotional intelligence, rare in our space. Our proprietary framework turns abstract vision into practical execution. Our founder has built and exited 3 companies. Our advice isn't theoretical. What is that unique strength of your company? How does your company impact customers' lives? Look for both tangible and emotional results. Think confidence, clarity, and wisdom. So, what are those impacts? We give founders their time back and their energy. Our clients lead with a clear strategy and self-belief to execute it. We help teams communicate better, grow faster, reduce turnover. What is it that your brand is delivering to us? How does your company impact customers' lives? And then we can begin to answer the question. Question number 5, which you're going to find on the next page. What is the single most important promise? This is where you ask yourself, what is the single most important promise your company is committed to delivering consistently, competently, and without compromise? This is the commitment you stake your reputation on. Your promise should be specific, have a 5-value outcome, be believable and achievable, bold, but not inflated, emotionally resonant, and strategically smart. We promise to help women founders scale their companies with clarity, profitability, and freedom. Yeah. Think about your big promise to your customer. What are you willing to guarantee with your brand every time? That promise just becomes your company promise. Next, why should your customer believe in this promise? This is where trust is built. If your promise is the what, this is the how and why. Evidence can come from your experience, results, credentials, methodology, values. Why should customers believe in your promise? You have experience with 500 customers across 12 industries. Your clients reduced churn by 40% in 6 months. It could be whatever. Our team has scaled and exited a certain number of companies themselves. We use a proven proprietary framework. We don't just say we build trust through transparency, follow through and care. We've been given 5 stars through the Medicare CMS guidance system, whatever it is that will help to say that, yes, the promise you're making is the promise that you can deliver. What promise are you going to deliver, and how do you demonstrate that you are delivering it? And so now the last piece here is where we go on to develop your position statement. So your position statement is the declaration of everything we just discussed. It's a declaration that summarizes your unique value. Draft it now, right? Your target audience, the specific market you serve. Right, comma, your company name, promises to, then your single most important promise. For your target audience or company, promises just because. And then the evidence that shows you can support this promise. This is your position statement. Grounded in all that context, you thought about your visual brand positioning, where you fit against your competitors, right? What your promise is, what your customer needs. So this is all grounded. Your core purpose, core values, long-term goals, 100-year vision. All of this is now here with this statement. Congratulations, add it to your 4-page growth plan. Notice that this is going to help you be distinct, desirable, and different. And now just acknowledge your set. You've created clarity, knowing, and power. What did you realize about your company's unique space in the market? What did you reveal about the market that you didn't know? What insight felt like a turning point? Maybe there was a sentence, a moment, a truth that shifted your perspective. How are you ready to stand more boldly? What language or clarity emerged that you're excited to share with your team, customers, investors? And what promise or truth now feels non-negotiable? What's that promise that your company must own, protect, and lead with? When you speak from your center, the message finds its mark. All right, put this position statement onto your 4-page growth plan. Every week, we come back to it, fine-tune it, put it into action, create a high leverage habit to help you every week, every month, do something that will put your market positioning top of mind. Something like every Monday, review your position statement with your leadership team. Build a weekly LinkedIn post around this company promise. Host a 15-minute Friday recap with your team to identify where your messaging aligned or drifted. Create a shared promise wins channel in Slack to celebrate moments when your brand stood tall and lived its promise. Pick one habit to implement. Add to the existing daily, weekly, monthly rituals you already have. What about a high potency action? What about one action you can take that will really move things forward? Ignites progress, removes friction, signals change to your company. So what's a bold action you could take in the next 7 days or even the next day? Update your website homepage. Rewrite your sales pitch. Add your company promise to 5 pieces of collateral. Host a feedback session with 3 customers to validate your unique position. Train your team on how to describe your company in one clear sentence, your position state. Host a training this Friday and bring in pizza or sushi. Deliver your position statement. Today, you defined your position market statement. You looked at parts of your positioning, including your competition matrix. You looked at your brand in terms of the visual elements, the feelings of your brand, the messages, and decided on a company promise. You did all of this with the market positioning analyzers. You can use this tool again and again. You integrated this into your 4-page growth plan by adding that marketing positioning statement. You might now see other elements that you want to shift. You identified a single high leverage habit and one action to do in the next 7 days. So you did something powerful today. You clarified the promise only your company can fulfill. Next, take up a copy of A Force for Good. Section on marketing positioning is in chapter 6. When you buy the book, you get the full toolkit. You can get it at aforceforgood.biz/book. Every week, you can get access to a free tool. Just go to forceforgood.biz/weekly-tool. Every week, you can implement one tool at a time. And every week, your flywheel is just growing and spinning. You can also sign up for the Growth Accelerator to install the full system with you in 12 modules. And it has tiered pricing that starts at just $599. Depending on how much service and support you want, you can get it at forceforgood.biz/accelerator. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for discovering where you and your company is meant to lead. Remember, the world is made better by women-led business. Let's all go make the world a better place.